Hello, I'm Jolie Branstein, and today I would like to talk to you about a topic that I'm extremely passionate about. Who here watching this video has ever struggled with the inability to fall asleep? I think we all have, right? We can all relate to that feeling of tossing and turning and staring at the clock, counting down the hours until you had to wake up the next morning. And maybe we felt this way because we had a big exam the next day, or maybe the next day held some events that we've been pretty anxious about for a while. No matter what the reason, I think we can all relate to this feeling. Unfortunately, there are people that actually suffer with insomnia every single night of their lives. According to Science Daily, about 25% of our American population suffers with insomnia. This fact is absolutely mind-boggling to me. Before this project, I didn't know how many people actually do suffer. But what is more bewildering to me is how we seek treatment. These days we live in this fix-it age where everyone's trying to fix their problems as soon, as quickly, and as easily as possible. And for many difficulties and issues, this is actually something that we should be incredibly grateful for. We haven't always had this access to medication, and now we do, and that's wonderful. However, it seems that today's population has a dependency on certain medications that have proven to be extremely risky without many rewards. It seems that more often than not, people are getting addicted to these sleeping medications. According to The Atlantic, there has been a dramatic increase in emergency room visits related to zolpidem, which is one of today's most popular sleeping pills. This increase in ER visits has been most abundant within these past few years. The reasons for ER visits range from small inconveniences such as a small, tiny reaction to the pill, to big problems such as overdosing and suicide attempts. After doing some research about this, it has come to my attention that in the past people would use sleeping pills as a main source for suicide. Many movies involve plot lines where characters reach for sleeping pills in an attempt to end their lives. Along with this fact and many others, I start to wonder how sleeping pills could really be safe for anyone to use. I mean, if it's so easy to overdose, it seems very dangerous. If this is such a large problem within our culture that it goes as far as to be portrayed in movies and on television, then obviously something needs to change. We obviously need to rethink our medication methods. Other than this extremely unfortunate series of events, there are actually some quite wild sleeping pill related events that are almost unexplainable. For example, some people actually sleepwalk or drive while under the influence of this medication. ABC News actually conducted an experiment to show the true dangers of this drug. A woman named Lisa Stark was given the sleeping pill and asked to drive. This was under surveillance and she was safe. She confidently told the reporters that she felt a bit zombie-like and that she almost swerved into a truck. Now, after hearing this story about this experiment, it's quite clear that this is a problem. Alarm bells are ringing and things need to change. The good news is, there's a whole magical world of natural remedies out there for insomniacs alike to conquer. Even if you don't struggle with insomnia, these natural remedies that I'm about to talk to you about are really helpful for anxiety, depression, and overall stress and unsteadiness. These are wonderful additions to life and help begin a self-discovery journey. Please pass on the good news to your friends and family, especially to those ones that suffer. We can cure ourselves from within. Now, you might be saying this sounds like a lot of work that I don't have time for. But the truth is, if you don't have time to do this, you really aren't taking care of yourself enough. It means you don't take care of yourself, or maybe you don't believe you could. I encourage you to try, because I have done it, and I can honestly say your life will change. As I said before, these remedies that I'm about to share with you serve many purposes. Within my research and discussion with friends and family, it seems that insomnia is more of a mental game than anything. Most people have so much weight on their shoulders that they can't get off, so they can't relax, they can't rest, they can't sleep. So the first step is to believe in yourself and understand that your mindset can change your world. One of the main resources that can help a patient be cured from insomnia is a type of therapy called cognitive behavior therapy, or CBT. This allows the patient to meet in person or these days via Zoom, Skype, or FaceTime with a therapist and face these issues from the inside out. The therapist will focus on the patient's thoughts and how they can change them to heal themselves from issues such as insomnia. Letting out worries and letting a professional take care of problems such as that is extreme weight loss off your shoulders. Approaching this issue from a mental perspective will allow for genuine results that last forever. Using this type of therapy is not just applicable to insomnia. This is applicable to every single issue that you could be dealing with and will change your life dramatically. Even if you don't suffer from insomnia, a little help from a professional never hurts anyone. One other beautiful natural remedy has to do with writing. This is my journal where I write. Writing a list of what is worrying you can do so much more than what you think. Once everything is on paper, it's out of your mind. It's also really nice to just write about your day and see your progress in life. Doing this before bed takes our mind off of the ugly and the bad and the stressful and into a nice dreamlike state. Our worries on this paper, once they're on this paper, they're out of your head, and it creates such a beautiful headspace for you. It's also really, really nice to look back at your journey through your writing. One of the biggest tools to have complete control and power over your mind is actually meditation. I started meditating my sophomore year of high school just to help with nerves before I had auditions for shows and musicals. However, I found so much more. All of a sudden, I was full of power. I was calm and grounded and thoughtful. I had created a castle in my mind that only the good thoughts can enter. With meditation, you learn to float and breathe. But most importantly, you learn to rest. Once someone who suffers from insomnia starts meditating, there is more healing and power than a medication could ever provide. And then there's this sense of major accomplishment because you did it all by yourself. Along with this, yoga is also an amazing natural remedy that is super healing. It's also great exercise. I would like to conclude my speech with a quote that I have lived by ever since I started my self-discovery journey. And the day came when the risk to remain tight in a bud was more painful than the risk it took to blossom. Anais Nin. Sometimes we have to look at the bigger issue and tackle our problems fully. Sometimes, although it may be difficult, we can no longer choose the easy way out. Sometimes we have to take a risk. But soon enough, you will be greeted with a reward. Thank you so much for listening and have a beautiful summer.